U.S. President Donald Trump gave the third State of the Union address of his presidency Tuesday night, just hours ahead of the close of his impeachment trial, when the Republican majority Senate is expected to acquit him of charges he abused the power of his office and obstructed Congress's efforts to investigate him. VOA's Katherine Gypson recaps the night from Capitol Hill.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
The president starting his State of the Union in the 2020 election year with a reminder of his campaign promises in 2016.
3 years ago, we launched the great American comeback. Tonight, I stand before you to share the incredible results.
In the chamber where he was impeached by U.S. House Democrats less than 2 months ago, Trump made no mention of his Senate trial, but refused Speaker Pelosi's handshake and focused on his efforts to build the American economy.
If we hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success.
Heading into the 2020 presidential election year, Trump has secured a personal best approval rating of 49% of the country. His speech focused on domestic policy initiatives, including infrastructure and health care, and an assurance the U.S. is addressing the coronavirus.
We are coordinating with the Chinese government and working closely together on the coronavirus outbreak in China. My administration will take all necessary steps to safeguard our citizens from this threat.
Trump did address several of his administration's key foreign policy priorities, including inviting special guest Venezuelan President Juan Guaido.
All Americans are united with the Venezuelan people in their righteous struggle for freedom. Socialism destroys nations, but always remember, freedom unifies the soul.
The recent U.S. drone killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani also earned a mention as Trump acknowledged protests in Iran and once again laid out the terms for diplomatic engagement.
The Iranian regime must abandon its pursuit of nuclear weapons, stop spreading terror, death, and destruction, and start working for the good of its own people. Because of our powerful sanctions, the Iranian economy is doing very, very poorly. We can help them make a very good and short-time recovery. It can all go very quickly, but perhaps they are too proud or too foolish to ask for that help. We are here. Let's see which road they choose. It is totally up to them.
Trump said his administration had found a new solution for peace in the Middle East.
Recognizing that all past attempts have failed, we must be determined and creative in order to stabilize the region and give millions of young people the chance to realize a better future.
Well, once again suggesting a withdrawal of the U.S. presence in Afghanistan.
I am not looking to kill hundreds of thousands of people in Afghanistan, many of them totally innocent. It is also not our function to serve other nations as law enforcement agencies.
But the president offered few opportunities for bipartisan cooperation.
Simply because he didn't mention impeachment didn't mean that every other aspect of the speech revealed his displeasure, his annoyance, and it was very clear watching the room that the feeling was mutual. You did not see Democrats applauding some points that could be national unity. At the same time, you did not see very much offering of working together, which is what a State of the Union is supposed to be.
Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan, a state that could play a key role in deciding the 2020 presidential election, gave the Democratic response.
Bullying people on Twitter doesn't fix bridges. It burns them.
But as Trump completed his speech, Speaker Pelosi ripped her copy of his remarks in half. A reminder the deeply partisan battles of impeachment are far from over. Katherine Gypson, VOA News, Capitol Hill.
Joining me now to put the president's speech into perspective is VOA political expert and national correspondent Jim Malone. Jim, welcome back to Africa 54.
Nice to be with you.
A lot about the president talking of his achievements.
Yes.
But then some other issues trending today after that speech. A lot said about him snapping the handshake from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi.
Yes.
And Pelosi tearing the speech.
Right. So what we're going to remember from this whole speech is not so much what was said by the president, but this body language that we saw. The president offering copies of the speech at the beginning. It wasn't clear if he was purposely snubbing Speaker Pelosi or he just didn't see that she wanted to shake his hand. And then, of course, at the end, the dramatic tearing up of the speech. Democrats were upset in some ways because they felt the president exaggerated some claims, perhaps even told falsehoods, but also was constantly hearkening back to the Obama administration to compare his administration and its achievements. The president does have a lot to crow about in terms of the economy, but we also saw the disparate partisan sort of camps on display in the speech.
And Jim, briefly, your take on immigration, where the president talks about an America that should be a sanctuary for law-abiding citizens and not a place for criminal aliens.
Well, it's a signature issue. He's going to push that in the campaign. President has had a good week. Poll ratings are going up. He's getting out of the impeachment mess, and the Democrats are in disarray as they try to choose someone to run against him in November.
Oh, a lot of talk. The highs and lows will be running around throughout the week. Jim, thank you very much for your perspective. VOA National Correspondent Jim Malone.